Well, the way I start most of my videos is by saying, welcome to Carolina Sculpture Studio. My name's Clint Button, and I'm a granite sculptor. I've been a full-time sculptor for over 20 years, doing mostly granite, mostly memorial work, some bronze, some other media, you know, from just a wide variety of stuff, some limestone, some serpentine, but mostly stone. I've been an artist my whole life. I've been a sculptor my whole life. And after spending the 90s as a apprenticing and serving as executive chef and doing some culinary education stuff and everything, for the last 20 plus years I've been a full-time sculptor. All during that time I've had an endless stream of motorcycles. I love old bikes. I love old Italian bikes particularly. And I got this old V7 Sport, the red bike in the background, 30 years ago. And so a lot of other bikes have come and gone. And but I've always been really intrigued by metal shaping and the panel work, where they do body work for old cars and bikes and everything. And to me, it's really ties together a lot of my sculpture and artwork. So gonna try to do some videos of the rework of this motorcycle. Now, this is a 1967 V700 Moto Guzzi that I bought for parts. It was just the frame and an engine and some of the front end, and I had wheels and I had other pieces and parts, and bought it mainly for the SS1 carburetors to use. One of them I'm on old Ducati single and part things out, and then I became more familiar with the heritage of the V7 Sport and the two so-called record bikes or world record bikes that were commissioned by Moto Guzzi. They had a head engineer. After they went through receivership around '66, they came out with this engine, this bike, or in '67, this new V-Twin. And by '69 they were concerned. They wanted to make sure that the buying public knew that these bikes had real performance potential, because the Ambassadors and the V700s, which this is a V700, were kind of stodgy old touring bikes. They weren't sport bikes. So he stripped down two of them, and they went out as a PR stunt and set a bunch of records. And those two bikes formed the basis for the V7 Sport program, because he was very dissatisfied with the frame. This loop frame is a lot different than a Tonti frame, named after Lino Tonti after he built it. And but this was the origin. So I thought, to tie together all my sculpture and art and bikes and everything, and my love for Guzzis, I'd build a replica of one. And so I've already done a bunch of work. And this is the first time I've ever tried to do anything like this. And information is very hard to find. I haven't been to Italy to check out the original bikes. I've got a couple of friends that have been, and they've supplied me pictures and images of the one existing world record bike that's still in the museum at Guzzi, at the factory. And recently they have moved that motorcycle from it used to be up on a riser in the center. So there were some details that were harder to see. They moved it down to the floor, and just recently I got some really excellent pictures that showed me that some of the design things that I wasn't happy with what I had done with modeling the bike in clay and doing bucks, and then doing even more interpretation on the tank. The tank needs to be skinnier, a lot of little details. And so I'm going to try to do, started doing videos for my studio more actively, and I'm going to try to do video of the rework of a lot of this. Now, things like the seat, this is the first attempt. The rear fender is very lightweight. I may have to make a heavier one. I've made reverse cone megaphones, and I made them heavy wall because I understood that's all I could get for the header pipes. I've got to match up. I'm going to try to get lighter weight tubing for the header pipes, because they're completely different. So still really have to build the whole bike. This is dry run practice stuff, really great. I've got a lot of stills from previous work, and but I'm going to try to blend it all together as we go forward. I'm not a professional metal shaper. I don't have a showcase shop that everybody dreams about, and everything's perfect. It's just a shop that I can afford, that I've got. I'm really happy, but so I got a lot of picking up to do for the video series. And because of my traditional training with granite sculpture, I'm more inclined to the old ways, and I've been very heavily influenced by some men, including Peter Tomasini and Jim Harry, those two men in particular, as to the way things are actually done by people that earn a living making parts that fit. I'm not interested in slapping together something that doesn't fit and then saying, see, this is how it works. Flexible shape patterns, stuff like that. If you're into this scene, you know there's some pretty big camps between some of the different perspectives. I like what Jim does, I like what Peter does, and other people can do whatever they want. I don't want to turn this channel into a debate over that. So anyways, but check out my other work on my sculpture channel, should be linked in the description. And but this is going to be an ongoing slow process. You know, when you're a sculptor, you work when you've got free time and extra money, and that doesn't always happen at the same time. So I'm anxious to do some work on this over the winter and do a new top for the tank and make it match the pictures better, and may rework the seats. Still, the seat's been a question all along. And then I got to redo manifolds and make a bunch of other parts, make the rear sets. And so, but just wanted to introduce you to what's happening. This is my V700 Corsa record. That's what I'm going to call it. And it's just going to be a custom bike that I hope to ride some and enjoy, and give people a perspective on where the first V-Twin Guzzi sport bikes, when they really happen. And because most people just don't do that with these bikes, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for stopping by, checking in, keep checking back, and I'll post videos as I can, and we'll just see how it goes. So we'll do a quick walk around on the bike here at the end of the video, I think, and then we'll wait for the next installment. So thanks for your time, hope you enjoy it. You know, try some of this yourself. It's pretty cool to do it. It's really awesome making shapes out of metal like this. So I'll just say once again, my name's Clint Button, here at Carolina Sculpture Studio on my own channel. It's not a stone channel. And thanks for coming in.